What is happening, fam? It is your boy, the Sultan Sativa, the Ayatollah of Indica, the Bobby Fischer BHO, a.k.a. Ned Sparks, a.k.a. Willie the Cool Penguin, a.k.a. President United Bakes of America, Donald Blunt, a.k.a. the Holy Hashashin, a.k.a. Willie the Cool Penguin, and I am here tonight with another brand spanking new episode of Let's Toke About It. Woo! I gotta tell you, man, I'm off, first and foremost, I'm going to go ahead right now and get the little house cleaning out the way. Number one sponsor of the Let's Talk About It podcast, Safari Bar. For those of you who don't know what the Safari Bar is, obviously it's in a fucking fancy gold wrapper and it's got a fucking zebra on the cover. Yeah, that's right, a fucking zebra. You know, if you're curious about what some of the fucking ingredients are, it's a psychedelic superfood chocolate. That's right. It ain't your fucking daddy's little fake-ass melted Hershey bar chocolate with some fucking a bunch of dust in there. This is real deal. This shit is fair trade ingredients. Semi-sweet chocolate, cacao butter, coconut oil, white chocolate, local coffee beans, cornflakes, Himalayan sea salt, and niacinamide. Whatever the fuck that is. The directions tell you to start with a half square. See, that was my problem. I ate a whole square before jiu-jitsu, couldn't find my keys. Of course, they were somewhere fairly obvious, even though I tore up my whole fucking house. Literally had me evaluating my whole life, trying to decide if I should even go to jiu-jitsu. And I found them and got it together, got my happy ass to the gym, showed up late. Well, you know, right past the warm-ups, so I was right on time as a purple belt. They were doing my favorite techniques. A little De La Hiva sweep to Berimbolo. Helped get me in my zone. And when it was time to roll, I was fucking getting after it. Yeah, so, but, you know, I left out of there feeling good. Got all my yawns out. I don't know about you, but when I eat psychedelic superfoods, I yawn a lot. It's something that happens. So this tells you to start with a half square and wait 1 hour for the full effect. Interesting. Definitely, the full square, one full square, had me, you know that anticipatory feeling you have? Like when you're on the way up, it's like right there. You know, each bar contains, okay, 10 squares per bar. Adult use only. I would read this, but I fucking can't because it's dark and this thing's showing. Contains medicinal stuff. So, be medicinal and get you a fucking Safari Bar. They're fucking great. 1 square. You want to eat more than 1 square because it's so fucking tasty. That's for fucking sure. I don't know. I've kind of been on a roll last fucking few days for those who don't know, I've been off the weed. I know you just saw me smoking what looked to be a joint, but I assure you it's not. It's literally just tobacco. Can't you see? My eyes aren't even red. They're not red. And that's why I'm so fired up too, because I gotta tell you guys, when I don't smoke weed, I'm not fucking chill. I'm not fucking chill at all. Okay? And I think that you're gonna get a big fucking dose of that today. Sometimes I'm a little lazy. I'm probably gonna smoke 10 of these little ass fucking tiny things. I'm out of papers except for these little Tops papers, which make me fucking think back to goddamn high school where we used to roll these shits up. They're not even good. They're made in France, but they're not even good. Fuck the French. I'm about 20 something. I think I'm at like around 20 days of fucking not smoking weed. Maybe a little longer. I don't know. When was that tournament? 15, 16, 17 days maybe? I don't know. Somewhere between 15 and 20 days. I gotta look. Of no weed. And it is fucking... It's been a lot. There's been a lot going on. You know, I have been on a serious weed tox. Every day, I wake up soaked in sweat. It's like, why did I even take a shower right before bed? Because I'm literally soaked. I don't care. It doesn't matter. I know what you're saying. Take some fucking clothes off. My clothes are all off. Even when I'm butt ass naked, I am sweaty as fuck when I wake up. And I strongly dislike it because, it means I need to clean my sheets more often. Which, as a man, who the fuck likes doing that? I mean, I guess I don't have to, considering that, I don't bring any ladies back to my house. That's just, I don't really bring anyone to my house, to be honest, except for my kids. My kids are here. And my house is kind of a little bit of a mess right now, so I don't like bringing people here. There's like 3 people that come here, and that's it. And even my family, if they come here and bitch about the condition of my house, I let them know, hey, you don't need to come to my house anymore. Oh, man. It is definitely interesting not smoking weed. I don't even remember. The last podcast I recorded was probably like a week or 2 ago, and I haven't even put it out yet. But I think after I record this one, I may go and just do whatever editing I need to from the Sean Doherty episode, which the holdup was essentially that my editing software, Riverside, was hooping out and for some reason was not generating the clips that I wanted. And so, it's just been like, man, life has been busy. Life is hectic. I've been studying a lot of shit on how to get out of contracts that we involve ourselves in unintentionally, in the ways that we are duped by the American system, being part of the corporate entity of the United States, which is something I've known for some time, but now I'm actually having some information on how to get out of that system and really put myself into free man status. So, you could stay tuned for that, because I think I'm going to be making some drastic changes in that regard. Like I've been reading a lot of Black's Law Dictionary. I have a 6th edition, but apparently the good ones are the 4th and 5th edition. Those are the ones that you need to be paying attention. Anybody who wants one can message me and I'll shoot you the PDF, or you can just Google Black's Law 4th edition PDF and it'll probably come right up. I don't remember if I talked about it, but I'm not smoking because it's been, 10 years that I've been smoking again. And the last 6 have been, a lot. Like I've probably spilled more weed in the last 6 years than a lot of people have smoked. And that's a fact. I'm not proud of it. I'm a little ashamed because it's a waste. But when you smoke that much weed, you just don't give a fuck. You just don't. I sent a link for people to get in this bitch, so hopefully some people will. I don't know. Right now it's only me, but people can come in, so I put a link up, trying something new, want to see if how this works, just because I've never done it, and maybe some people will join in. Maybe they won't. Maybe I'll record more podcasts regularly if I can have people in here that want to be in here. You want to be in here? Get in. You want to fucking talk some shit? I think you can do that. And I'll roast you right here in the recording. Honestly, I was going to bullshit again and not even fucking record this podcast, but somebody sent me, my main man, fucking, my fucking brother, the hash master of Hunter, sent me a fucking post on Instagram, from the blacklist that I want to get into. And I had to. Curio, man, the gift that keeps on giving. I'm gonna get into them in a minute. I last night posted some shit on my Instagram. I don't even think it was this one, but it was like my personal Instagram. I was talking about OnlyFans, and the more I see these these women posting their OnlyFans, and like some of them, it's like, you're a mom, dude. Come on, man. Like, and I get it. You like taking photos of yourself. That's great. I don't want anybody to, like, I want people to feel good about their bodies and want to take some good pictures. That's cool. That's great. That's awesome. It's rad. I'm not hating on that element, but, you know, the reality is that after reading this article about, oh shit, damn, I totally forgot about that fucking article. I'm gonna see if I can find it while I'm fucking talking to you. The future of culture 2024. And, damn, honest broker. Ah, yes. That's it. I definitely will have to get into this one. This might end up being a longer episode than I had initially anticipated, but anyway, I was talking about OnlyFans and, you know, just really thinking about the state of things. And, you know, it's like, one, I know for me personally, at this stage in my life, as a fucking 35-year-old man, 35-year-old white man, I know nobody wants to hear it because I'm white. You're white. Stop listening to white men. But the reality is, who gives a fuck? Like, who gives a fuck about skin color? And maybe it's because I grew up not ever being able to be proud of being white. You know, I had to learn to be proud of other things, which is great because to me, I didn't really understand in the first place how people could be proud of something that they had no say over. You're just born that way. You're just fucking born that way. Why are you proud of it? You know, some people will say, well, black people and this and that and fucking this and that. Every other quote unquote race of people is allowed to be proud of their skin color and heritage. But if you do that as a white person, you're fucking some skinhead. You know, you're some fucking, you know, racist. Not that the word racist means anything to me. I don't give a fuck. You know, and to be honest, I grew up in an area that was, you know, every school let's just say this. White people were the minority in the schools that I went to growing up. Not that that's a problem. You know, I learned to love black people and fucking, that is what it is, dude. I had a ton of friends that were black. We used to joke about shit all the time, but there was also plenty of people that gave me lots of shit for being white. You know, cracker this, white boy that, you know, fucking trying to rob me because I'm white. This shit is fucking ridiculous. You know, I see people, I'm proud to be black. Why? You were born that way. You didn't do anything to be black except be born. I don't know, maybe someone can explain it to me, although I do believe that it kind of plays into some of this victim mentality in society at large, you know, when it comes to thinking that you deserve something just because you're this or just because you're that. And that doesn't apply just to black people. It applies to anyone and everyone. Just, you know, for women or for fucking gay people or this or that. Pretty much everyone except for fucking white people can feel that way. Even white women can feel that. Somehow, white women are some of the most oppressed and think that it is their job to tell you how oppressed everyone else is and needs to be protected, which is mad corny. But we're going to get into that in a minute. OnlyFans, you know, it's like, I just think about if that shit was around in high school. Oh my God, dude, somebody's roasted. That's like the ace in the hole. If someone was roasting you, where I came from, you had to be ready to fucking Joan before fucking 8 a.m. You'd be in a blunt rotation and fucking getting fried. And getting fried. You know, but that's like the absolute ace in the hole. You know, if somebody was talking shit, Dude, and you could pull out their mom's OnlyFans that fucking is only $5. It's $5. Even a high schooler could afford it. Pull out their fucking the OnlyFans for $5 and it's like, oh yeah? You don't like my fucking sneakers? Okay, you think that I fucking got some Ronald McDonald ass shoes? Gotcha. Okay, cool. Here's your fucking mom's pussy right here on the internet. Bitch. Checkmate. How do you argue that? Everyone in the rotation is going, Zah! You know? And how do you as a mother justify that? What do? You tell them, well, honey, sex work is work. You know? We didn't want to fucking, if you were trying to fucking wife up the girl that you knew everyone was banging, that's one more thing to fucking throw in the rotation. It's like, your girl's on OnlyFans. Anyone can see it. Here she is replying to my messages. Because I tipped her $3. I'm just assuming. I don't know what the proper tip rates are on OnlyFans or price points, but I know it's fucking not that expensive. I've seen people posing, you can get in my OnlyFans for $5. I don't know what you're supposed to tip someone. I've never been on OnlyFans. My curiosity has not even been piqued enough to go look. Almost once I got on there to go look at Craig Jones and learn some jiu-jitsu. But we're like pretty much past the demoralization phase in the communist takeover of America here. We've been in the demoralization phase. And look here, this shit is fucked up. I'm gonna get into this fucking article. It's on honestbroker.com. You can look it up, the state of culture. I'm not going to post the links because I'm lazy and I'm a one-man show and I got a lot of shit to do. And if you want to look it up, well, God damn it, look it up. I'm going to read it for you. It's right here on my iPad. State of culture in 2024, or a glimpse in the post-entertainment society. It's not pretty. The president delivers a State of the Union speech every year, but that's a snooze. Just look at your worthy representatives struggling to keep their eyes open. Hold on, I'm going to put this in reader mode, make it a little easier. That's because they've heard it all before. We have too. Not much changes in politics. Certainly not the candidates. Douche and a turd sandwich. There's more variety at my local gas station, where at least I get to choose from 3 types of fuel and 5 flavors of Big Gulp. Facts. All owned by one company. To forget about politics, all the action now is happening in mainstream culture, which is changing at warp speed. That's why we need a State of the Culture speech instead. My address last year was quoted and cited and was absolutely true back then, but it's already as obsolete as the ChatGPT-1 help desk at the Bored Ape Yacht Club. For those who don't know, the Bored Ape Yacht Club was for people who owned the fucking Bored Ape NFTs, and I guess they used a Chat fucking GPT-1 model for the help desk, whatever that is. But are Bored Apes still holding value? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know any NFT that is. I don't even know what an NFT is. I know that I could screenshot it. If culture was like politics, you would get 2 choices. They might look like this. It's a sign that says art this way, entertainment that way. Many creative people think there are only 2 options, both for them and their audience. Either they give the audience what it wants, the entertainer's job, or else they put demands on the public. That's where art begins. But they're dead wrong. Maybe it's smarter to view the creative economy like a food chain. If you're an artist or are striving to become one, your reality often feels like this. It's a small fish that says art, getting eaten by a bigger fish that says entertainment. Until recently, our entertainment industry has been on a growth tear, so much so that anything artsy or indie or alternative got squeezed as collateral damage. But even the disturbing picture isn't disturbing enough, and that's because it misses the single biggest change happening right now. We're witnessing the birth of a post-entertainment culture, and it won't help the arts. In fact, it won't help society at all. Even that big whale is in trouble. Entertainment companies are struggling in ways nobody anticipated just a few years ago. Consider the movie business. Disney is in a state of crisis where everything is shrinking, except the CEO's paycheck. Paramount just laid off 800 employees and wants to find a new owner. Universal is now releasing movies to streaming after just 3 weeks in theaters. Warner Brothers actually makes more money canceling films than releasing them. I need to take my kids to the movies, man, before there is no movie theater. That's fucking sad, dude. Warner Brothers actually makes... Okay. TV business also hit a wall in 2023 after years of steady growth. The number of scripted TV series has started shrinking. Wow. Music may be in a worse state of them all. I agree with that. Just consider Sony's huge move a few days ago, investing in Michael Jackson's song catalog at a valuation of $1.2 billion. Even though Michael Jackson has been accused time and time again of fucking kids, his music is timeless, and they were willing to spend $1.2 billion on it. You know why? Because they're a bunch of pedophiles too. It's like, at this point, I don't even know if Michael Jackson was a pedophile. Maybe he was. Maybe he wasn't. There's a lot of people that say that he wasn't, and I do think there's a lot of weird shit surrounding it, but who knows what to believe. In 24, musicians are actually worth more old than young, dead than alive. This raises the obvious question. How can demand for new entertainment shrink? What can possibly replace it? But something will replace it, and it's already starting to happen. Here's a better model of the cultural food chain in the year 2024. In the depiction, for those who are not looking, small fish art, bigger fish entertainment, bigger fish distraction. The fastest growing sector of the culture economy is distraction, or call it scrolling or swiping or wasting time or whatever you want. But it's not art or entertainment, just ceaseless activity. The key is that each stimulus only lasts a few seconds and must be repeated. It's a huge business and will soon be larger than arts and entertainment combined. Everything is getting turned into TikTok, an aptly named platform for a business based on stimuli that must be repeated after only a few ticks of the clock. TikTok made a fortune with fast-paced scrolling video, and now Facebook, once a place to connect with family and friends, is imitating it. So long, Granny. Hello, Reels. Twitter's done the same. And of course, Instagram, YouTube, and everybody else trying to get rich on social media. This is more than just the hot trend of 2024. It can last forever, because it's based on our body chemistry, not fashion or aesthetics. Our brain rewards these brief bursts of distraction. The neurochemical dopamine is released, and this makes us feel good. So we want to repeat the stimulus. The cycle looks like this. So it's like a little square with arrows going, like, says the dopamine loop. Stimulus, distraction, dopamine release, pleasure, desire for more, reinforcement, habit formation, addiction, right back to the stimulus loop. This is a familiar model for addiction. As a junkie, yes. Only now it's getting applied to culture and the creative world, and billions of people. They are unwitting volunteers in the largest social engineering experiment in human history. So you'd need to ditch the simple model of art versus entertainment, and even distraction is just a stepping stone towards the real goal nowadays, which is addiction. Here's the future cultural food chain pursued aggressively by tech platforms that now dominate every aspect of our lives. Small fish art, bigger fish entertainment, bigger fish distraction, big whale addiction. The tech platforms aren't like the Medici in Florence or those other rich patrons of the arts. They don't want to find the next Michelangelo or Mozart. They want to create a world of junkies because they will be the dealers. Addiction is the goal. They don't say it openly, but they don't need to. Just look at what they do. Everything is designed to lock users into an addictive cycle. The platforms are all shifting to scrolling and reeling interfaces where stimuli optimize the dopamine doom loop. Anything that might persuade you to leave the platform, a news story or outside link, is brutally punished by their algorithms. It might liberate you from your deep dependent junkie status, and that cannot be allowed. But wait, there's more. Apple, Facebook, and others are now telling you to put on their virtual reality headsets where you are swallowed up by the stimuli like those tiny fish in my food chain charts. You're invited to live as a passive recipient of make-believe experiences, like a pod slave in The Matrix. Yo, rest in peace to my man Derek, who back when we were like 18 or 19, he fucking went nuts on fucking Molly and fucking Robo Trips, started calling himself Dex, and talking about that we live in the Matrix. And I was like, you're nuts, Derek. Now, I'm not so sure. Hey, so look, there's a tweet. It says, hey, let's show that even the CEO is wearing blinders. There's a cover of Vanity Fair. The moonshot inside the making of the Apple Vision Pro. I know you guys have seen all those. I'm sure you've seen all those clips of people wearing these Apple Visions, driving their Teslas, fucking doing little fucking whatever it is they're doing. The tech CEO knows this is harmful, but they do it anyway. A whistleblower released internal documents showing how Instagram use leads to depression, anxiety, and suicidal thoughts. Mark Zuckerberg was told all the disturbing details. He doesn't care. The CEOs, that's because they're colluding with the government, and this is what the government wants. They want you to be a little fucking pod slave like in the Matrix, and they fucking let Mark Zuckerberg run around and play MMA as long as he does what he's told when it comes to telling you who to vote for and trying to get you to stay on his platforms. So the more their tech gets used, the worse all the psychic metrics get. But yet they still push aggressively forward. They don't want to lose market share to the other dopamine cartel members. And with a special focus on children, they figured out what every junk peddler already knows. It's more profitable to get users locked in when they're young. And when the virtual reality headsets raise even more issues because they rewire users' brains, experts are already talking about simulator sickness. And that's just the physical nausea, dizziness, and headaches. Imagine the psychic dislocations. And you thought artists had it tough back in the day. Even the dumbest entertainment looks like Shakespeare compared to dopamine culture. You don't need Hamlet. A photo of a hamburger will suffice. Or a video of somebody twerking, or a pet looking goofy. Instead of movies, users get served up an endless sequence of 15-second videos. Instead of symphonies, listeners hear bite-sized melodies, usually accompanied by one of those tiny videos. Just enough for a dopamine hit, and no more. This is the new culture, and its most striking feature is the absence of culture with a capital C, or even mindless entertainment. Both get replaced by compulsive activity. Dude, and so there's a chart here. It says the rise of dopamine culture, and it shows there's 3 parts. It says slow traditional culture, fast modern culture, dopamine culture. And it's got a whole list of little things down there. Athletics. So the slow traditional culture, play a sport. Fast modern culture, watch a sport. Dopamine culture, gamble on the sport. Journalism, newspapers, multimedia, clickbait. Video, film and TV, video. Reels of dopamine culture, reels of short video. Music, albums. Fast modern culture, tracks. Dopamine culture, TikToks. Images, view on gallery wall. Fast modern culture, view on phone. Dopamine culture, scroll on a phone. Communication, slow traditional culture, handwritten letters. Modern culture, voice email memo. Dopamine culture, short text. Relationships, slow culture, courtship and marriage. Fast modern culture, sexual freedom. Dopamine culture, swipe on an app. So don't be surprised when huge corporations, this like second half of the article, I read it last night, makes me sick. Shout out to Klops for posting it. So don't be surprised when huge corporations stop pretending otherwise, hence entertainment businesses that suddenly embrace gambling or other equally addictive offerings. Now you know why the Super Bowl took place in Las Vegas, a perfect symbol for the current moment in our culture. Don't even get me started on Super Bowl symbolism. I'm not going there right now. Everything is gamified. Anything can be scrollable. You can simulate any boat you row. But what does this do to our brains, to our lives, and to the future? Here's where the science gets real ugly. The more addicts rely on these stimuli, the less pleasure they receive. At a certain point, this cycle creates anhedonia, a complete absence of enjoyment in the experience supposedly pursued for pleasure. It's like shooting dope. It's great the first time. It's great the second time. Third time, it's, not as great. And each time subsequently after, it gets less and less great until you're fucking sitting on a toilet with blood spatter on the wall, thinking, where the fuck is my skateboard? Where the fuck are my friends? Where the fuck is my friends and family? It seems like a paradox. How can pursuing pleasure lead to less pleasure? But that's how our brains are wired. Perhaps as a protective mechanism? At a certain point, addicts still pursue the stimulus, but more to avoid the pain of dopamine deprivation. People addicted to painkillers have the same experience. Beyond a certain level, opioid dependence actually makes the pain worse. Yeah. What happens when this same experience is delivered to everybody via their phones? The results are devastating. Expert Dr. Len Lance explains, even the people who thought they were immune to addictive behavior get destroyed by the cycle. There is a specific abnormal brain activation pattern that is present in people who have anhedonia, which is a key feature of major depression and absent in all those who do not. It is often the case that when patients come to me with major depression, they say, I shouldn't be depressed. I have a good life. If my friends or coworkers knew I was depressed, they wouldn't understand or they would be mad at me. They think I have it made. So why don't I feel that way? Because you don't do shit. You don't fucking do a fucking thing. Okay? You don't go outside and smell the fresh air. You don't fucking work out. You don't do jiu-jitsu. You don't play with your kids. You don't fucking go out and find some way to get some pussy. You don't fucking do shit. You don't do it. That's why. You don't go fucking help people. We're now seeing the first effects on a grand social scale of this deadening effect. Sure, let's give it a name. Something like TikTok depression or Silicon Valley zombification or whatever. The key fact is that users can feel it. Even if they don't have a label or a diagnosis, they feel, even if the technocrats refuse to tell them about it, just listen to the words people use to describe their toxic online interactions. Doom scrolling, trolling, doxing, gaslighting, etc. In the year 2024, this is what we do for fun. But it doesn't bring happiness. The World Happiness Report surveyed 150,000 people in 26 countries and found that the U.S. and other prosperous technologically advanced societies are suffering a massive happiness decline. Yeah, because you're not trying to fucking get married and have a bunch of kids and make your life and the world a better place. You're busy fucking taking pictures for your fucking OnlyFans, trying to get any and all attention from any fuck. Go hang out with you. Call your fucking dad, dude. This is what happens when anhedonia is on sale every week, and the pervasive tech platforms increasingly resemble the ruthless corporations that got rich from opioid abuse. Zuckerberg, Mark fucking Zuckerberg Sackler. Elon fucking Musk Sackler. Some companies get people hooked with pills and needles, others with apps and algorithms. But either way, it's just churning out junkies. That's our dystopian future. Not so much Orwell's 1984, more like Huxley's Brave New World. That's not an accident. Dr. Anna Lamoke, author of Dopamine Nation, sometimes urges her patients to undergo a dopamine fast for a month, a sufficient amount of time for the brain to start rewiring. But even unplugging for a few minutes can be scary for those caught in the cycle. She shares an example. My patient, Sophia, a Stanford undergrad from South Korea, came in. South Korea, by the way, is suffering a huge spike in infertility. Wonder why. Came in seeking help for depression and anxiety. Among the many things we talked about, she told me she spends most of her waking hours plugged into some kind of device, Instagramming, YouTubing, listening to podcasts and playlists. In session with her, I suggested she try walking to class without listening to anything and just let her own thoughts bubble to the surface. She looked at me both incredulous and afraid. Oh, my God. Why would I do that? She asked, open-mouthed. A week later, Sophie returned and reported on the new experience. It was hard at first, but then I got used to it and even kind of liked it. I started noticing the trees. Not long ago, I have dismissed anecdotes like this. I really couldn't imagine somebody addicted to Instagram or TikTok or some other phone app. But I don't need to imagine anything now. I see those sad-eyed junkies hooked to their devices wherever I go, and even their facial expressions convey that haggard, strung-out look. This is the real state of play in our 2024 culture, and it's a bigger issue than struggling artists or floundering media companies. The dopamine cartel is now aggravating our worst social problems in education, in workplaces, and in private life. But you will hardly hear about this because too many people are making far too much money from the dopamine culture. If you thought the drug cartels were rich, wait till you see how much money the dopamine cartel is making. For a start, Check out the market cap at Apple, Meta, etc. They're literally too big to stop. But they can be named and shamed. And if the politicians won't do it, we can, and we must. Just start telling the truth about the dopamine cartel would be a major step forward in the culture in 2024. Also, do yourself a favor, unplug yourself from time to time, start noticing the trees or your goofy pets. They actually look better in real life than in the headset. Woo, that's a fucking long article, but hey, well worth it. You know, I've been through it. I've been through the addict side of things, and I know this shit is exactly the same. It's no fucking different. I'm gonna have to read that Dopamine Nation. There's a fucking book called The Chaos Machine. I'm about halfway through it. I haven't read it in a while. I do have a PDF I will post on my Patreon, patreon.com/Let's Toke About It. If you join, you can do it for a week free. I'm about to upload a whole bunch of PDFs of books and articles and things, including one of my favorites, Self-Reliance by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Something very valuable. I think I should reread it. I haven't read it in a long time, but it is a great one. What the fuck? What is this one? Oh, I read this last time about the forced labor. Okay, that was in the last podcast episode. What that is. Hold on. I need to know. So my guys over at fucking New Maryland's. So, jumping around a little bit. Maryland. Beer Bros Farms is right on their fucking page. Maryland's actually I got another article about Maryland too, which I like more than this one. I haven't read this one. I saw the post. Thought it would be good. Excuse me. Figured I would share my thoughts on it. I'm going to roll up a little schmerky while I do it, because I just suck these little things down in 5 minutes. And I'm on a roll right now. What can I say? Maryland to award. Let's go into reader mode. I hope all is well in your world. It doesn't look, I don't think anybody has cared enough to jump in here, but it is a little bit late, so some people might just fucking be sleeping. Who knows? I'm not like a daytime podcaster, you know? My brain is more moving and grooving in the wee hours. You know, it's 11. I figure we keep at it this fucking rate. Maybe, hopefully these articles aren't super long. I try to get through them as quickly as I can because, I know you're not going to read them otherwise. And I do think that they're important. Maryland to award nearly 200 adult use licenses for social equity businesses. Just off the headline, I'm mad. Some might say I'm bitter. Maybe I am. Maybe I fucking am. Who knows? I'm willing to admit it. I'm not perfect. But I do know that I've been putting my life on the line for the plant, and me and many other people have been political prisoners. And this shit shouldn't be about just fucking somebody's skin color or their fucking sex or whatever. Sure, I totally am with fucking putting people who have been, had their lives impacted negatively, due to unnecessary statutes and regulations that we call laws, and they put us in these they create penal bonds and put us in this prison system where they fucking utilize us as slaves. I talked about in the last episode, Lincoln didn't free the slaves. He actually made all of us slaves. And that's not even about skin color, although some people will be like, 400 years of slavery. Yeah, but that wasn't you clearly have not read the book by the Nation of Islam called The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews. And I have no idea what was going on the high seas at that time. And totally ignore the fact that there were fucking black slave traders on both sides. The Africa side and the fucking American side. So I just don't want to hear it. I know I've spoken about reparations before, and it's just such bullshit. I fucking saw a guy fucking bitch today. Give us what you owe us. Who? Give you what who owes you? I don't know shit. I wasn't alive back then and neither were you. We're all getting fucked, regardless of skin color. So fuck you. You know, the reality is that we need to all be together. We need to stand together against who's shaking the motherfucking jar. You know, this shit transcends fucking race. Guess what? Outside of America, whether you're black, white, brown, green, yellow, fucking of an Asian descent, of a fucking Irish descent, it doesn't fucking matter. They all see us as Americans, and that's what the fuck we are, dude. We're all our own kings and queens fucking trying to make it through this fucking life. And they want us fucked. Relying on them, getting ready to put us in a fucking breadline as they let, over the last couple of years, over 22 million illegal immigrants in. You know? I mean, it just is what it is, dude. You know, that's more than the total population of about 30 states. And in case you know nothing about history, this is 100% a part of the communist playbook to overwhelm the societal systems that we have set up and make it crash so that we're all fucked. You know, there was a 3-hour fucking delay, fucking phone blackout, I guess, the other day. I don't know. My shit, I didn't have an issue. Maybe I was asleep during it. Whatever. But what are we going to do when there's a fucking week-long outage? Because, look, we're getting ready to be at the point where there's another election, and obviously you don't vote for the president of any other corporation, but I think that this is the year that they stop even hiding the shit that they're doing. Because, honestly, if it was me, in the position of the upper fucking ruling class, I'd say these motherfuckers clearly do not give enough of a fuck about their rights. They ain't gonna do shit. We saw it during COVID. They're not doing shit. They fucking wore a mask and act like a bitch and fucking screamed and yelled at each other to fucking save each other because that's what the TV told them to do. It's called programming for a fucking reason. Wake up, man. You know? I fucking went through 3 years of that bullshit. You know, and I've said it before, but if I died running around trying to fucking keep my business afloat, my kids wouldn't have even been able to come to my funeral because they were living in another state when they weren't with me. And that's a fucking fact. You know, I've gotten past that, but it's part of the reality. You know, I just saw a fucking reel yesterday, I posted it actually today, talking about all this shit that I've been saying since 2020, that people called me this, a grandma killer, a fucking idiot, saying the shit that I said fucking wasn't true. When if the information was available, but chose not to look at it. You know, and if that's not you, cool, I'm not talking to you, but if that is you, you have a duty, because it's time to we're going to have to be making some real hard decisions here in the very near future. Who are you going to stand with? You going to stand with people like me? Or are you going to fucking fall to your knees and crumble and hit the breadline and take all the fucking vaccines that they want to give you and whatever, vote for who they want you to vote for, so that you can have fucking some measly little fucking basic income to not even barely survive? What are you gonna do? To quote the fucking Clash, when they come at your front door, how you gonna come? With your hands on your head or on the trigger of your gun? It's time, man. It's time to start using what little power we have left to fucking really take some action. Because pretty soon, as this technology keeps advancing, we're going to be fucked. It's going to be like Tron, where they got shit fucking tracking you all around the city, and they fucking come right to you using the fucking DARPA dogs. And if you don't comply or have a fucking balloon of paint to fucking splatter on their sensors or a fucking EMP, you're done, son. Because they already show how those motherfuckers can remotely fucking fire a gun off that thing. And as the AI tech, as they start releasing more of it, right? Because I believe they already have the shit. and have had it for a long time. It's going to get to a point where they can't keep that shit in anymore. We already see it. So look, Maryland Cannabis Association has announced the 30-day application period for the first round of new cannabis business licenses in the state. This round includes an opportunity for social equity applicants to apply for up to 179 licenses distributed by the county and region. In order to be eligible, applicants must meet specific eligibility criteria and successfully complete a social equity verification portal prior to the application period opening. Today's announcement is another step forward in fulfilling Maryland's commitment to building an equitable and inclusive cannabis industry. Oh, fucking jerk me off, dude. An equitable and inclusive cannabis industry, said Maryland Cannabis Administration Acting Director Will Tilburg. Fuck Will Tilburg. Alright? Will Tilburg can get on his fucking knees and fucking suck me off, dude. He could fucking literally take a fat load to his dumb fucking face. Fuck that guy. Sick of all these motherfuckers. Money, bribe, lobbyist money, taking ass, fucking head ass bitch. All of them. This application, and I got a good buddy who's on the MCA, and I love him. And it's unfortunate that he wouldn't even come on this podcast, even though I've asked him multiple times, because he's scared that he might lose his position within the corporation that he works for and on the MCA. Because we know that the Medical Cannabis Association does not like me or people like me. Because I'll fucking go down there and dig up in their ass, and have before. It'll be more than double the number of cannabis businesses in the state. Yeah, because those motherfuckers lobbied to make sure that nobody else could fucking get in. Just a reminder. And each award will be to a verified social equity applicant. Okay. Just like last time, the MCA, in partnership with the Office of Social Equity, what the fuck even is that? Is leading the process in order to encourage social equity applicants to become a part of Maryland's growing cannabis industry. This announcement marks a significant step towards creating opportunities for individuals disproportionately impacted by previous drug policies and seeking to benefit from the new legal cannabis industry. Cannabis Reform Act in Maryland. In November of 22, Maryland voters approved a referendum to legalize marijuana for adult use. It's bullshit. You can go back and listen to my breakdown of the entire thing. Episode probably 50 or 60 something. Accompanying Cannabis Reform Act, HB 556 and SB 516 in spring of 23. This bill took effect upon Governor Westmore's signing on May 3rd, 2023. Sales of adult use cannabis are permitted beginning July 1, 23. Maryland law imposes a 9% sales and use tax on retail sales of adult use cannabis and cannabis products, which is the same rate that applies to the sale of alcoholic beverages. Bullshit. The Office of Comptroller is committed to supporting Maryland's business community, including the state's newly legal adult use cannabis industry. The agency administers the state's sales and use tax, which includes responsibility for collecting the tax and distributing revenue from tax collected on retail sales of adult use cannabis. What they mean is paying cops to bust fucking traditional fucking market people to protect the investment of these people spending millions of dollars on a license. The Cannabis Reform Act created a framework for licensing, including but not limited to establishing a licensing system for adult use businesses, imposing labeling, testing, and safety requirements, prohibiting certain products and advertising practices, meaning not using people like Lord Bongtimore to fucking advertise your shit. Even though he did lots of work for y'all for free for many years. Providing criminal justice reform provisions. I will say that I did have a weed charge automatically expunged in July, so that was cool. But I never should have fucking been arrested in the first fucking place. Office of Social Equity, an independent executive agency established by the Cannabis Reform Act of 2023, serves to promote economic opportunity and equity. Every time I read the word equity, I just fucking hate it, dude. Fucking World Economic Forum fucking ruined that word. Maryland's adult use cannabis market, specifically the Office of Social Equity, through programs, outreach, and advocacy. Yo, the advocates in fucking Maryland Cannabis can all suck my dick as well. seeks to cultivate an adult use cannabis market that encourages full participation from communities disproportionately impacted by the war on drugs to positively impact those communities. Yeah, they ain't doing shit for those communities. You ever seen fucking the dispensaries in the hood? Me either. State of Maryland has committed unprecedented resources to promote and encourage equitable access and participation in the adult use cannabis market. This office will assist the state in directing those resources to focus on equity and economic growth and create an industry that is reflective of Maryland's diversity. Definitions and qualifications for social equity applicants. This is what we wanted. Social equity applicants are defined as an individual who has been disproportionately impacted by the war on drugs. The Office of Social Equity has collected, evaluated, and published criteria to be considered a social equity applicant. An applicant must meet one of the following criteria and owns and controls at least 65% of the business. Now, if you don't know, what they'll do is they'll put a straw man as the face of their company that owns, I guess, 65% now. Back in the last round, it was like 51%. But what they do is they actually give them only a less than 1% distribution of profits, and usually buy them out after X amount of time. So there's loopholes and ways around. It sounds nice, but let's be honest. Criteria 1, disproportionately impacted area zip codes. Using data from Maryland Judiciary, the Office of Social Equity conducted a 10-year analysis to determine that these zip codes meet the statutory definition of a disproportionately impacted area. Yeah, so they're going to probably put them in places where you're going to have a hard time making money and probably be at risk for getting robbed frequently. Don't kill the messenger. Criteria 2, public school attendance in a disproportionately impacted area. Using data from Maryland's State Department of Education, the Office of Social Equity conducted an analysis to determine that these public schools are located in disproportionately impacted areas across the state. What does fucking public school have to do with the fucking shit? Does that mean you didn't go to school? And that you can be a cannabis business owner? Criteria 3, higher education institution attendance. I guess they were using, that's a part of the data they're using. You gotta they put it in a zip code where public school attendance is trash. Higher education institution attendance is trash. Using data from Maryland's Higher Education Commission, the Office of Social Equity determined that these four-year institutions of higher education meet the statutory requirement for this criteria. This really doesn't say a lot. Amounts and distribution of licenses. The MCA will award 179 licenses in this round, with each Maryland county and region receiving a proportional number of licenses. The MCA will issue medical cannabis cultivation, processing, dispensary, delivery service, and micro-business licenses as part of the selection process. This round includes an opportunity for social equity applicants to apply for up to 179 licenses distributed by county and region. In order to be eligible, applicants must meet the very specific criteria outlined above and successfully complete a social equity verification portal prior to the application period on April 1st of 2024. Does this say what the fucking criteria is? Hold on, before I go any further, let's see, blah, 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 2 rounds of licensing. I have the Office of Social Equity website pulled up on the Maryland Gov. Okay. With information on the application process, blah, blah, blah. They'll jointly plan outreach, educational sections, blah, blah, blah. Eligibility. Okay. And ownership and control held by one or more individuals who have lived in a disproportionately impacted area for at least 5 of the last 10 years immediately preceding the submission of the application, or attended a public school in a disproportionately impacted area for at least 5 years, or for at least 2 years attended a 4-year institution of higher education in the state where at least 40% of the individuals who attended the institution received a Pell Grant. The law defines disproportionately impacted area as a geographic area identified by the Office of Social Equity that has above 150% of the state's 10-year average for cannabis possession charges. Which is great. You know, in Baltimore, 95% of all cannabis arrests are black people. Let's see. Is there any more stuff? Okay, so basically you just have to have lived in Baltimore for 5 years, or in one of these other shitty zip codes, and you can fucking get a license. So just because you lived there, you're good to go. I don't even know what MetaMoon is, but I love it. Okay. Application round will be open for 30 days, blah, blah, blah. Any applicant who meets the minimum requirements for licensure on a pass-fail basis will be placed in a randomized lottery based on license type, grower, processor, or dispensary, county or region for which the application was submitted. Under the Cannabis Reform Act, the administration will begin conducting a lottery on or before January 1st. You can find the breakdown of number of licenses that will be available by license type and geographic area in the first application round here. Okay. The Cannabis Reform Act of 23 was designed with social equity applicants in mind, and the state is taking steps to ensure that those who the war has most impacted on drugs, that's worded really weird, have access to this rapidly growing industry. By offering low-cost resources and assistance, Maryland is providing these applicants with an opportunity to get in before large corporations can dominate the adult-use cannabis market. Before they can dominate the adult-use cannabis market? Hello? They already dominate it. What the fuck are you talking about? Shit gets me heated, dude, if you can't fucking tell. If I never say the words social equity ever fucking again, it'll be too soon. It's clear that Maryland is looking out for its fucking social equity applicants. No, it's not fucking clear, actually. And the state has implemented several measures to ensure they have an equal opportunity to succeed. Yeah, okay. As we've recently seen with New York's social equity program, these types of programs can only succeed if adequately implemented and monitored. What are they bringing up New York for? They should bring up Maryland and fucking what's her name? The fucking, the lady, I can't even think of her name, but she was like head of the MMCC that was caught and fucking, I think, had to do Fed time for fucking taking bribes on the last fucking social equity licenses. Only time will tell. Hopefully, Maryland will be able to avoid the same pitfalls and create a successful social equity program that will benefit its citizens for years to come. Only time will tell, but Maryland's commitment to encouraging diversity in the adult-use cannabis industry is undoubtedly a step in the right direction. Let's hope this trend continues and more states follow suit. Fuck off. Okay? Just fuck off. I don't know. I'm jaded, I guess. I've been around the industry for too long. I have been somebody that's literally put my life on the line for the plant for many, many years, and only once those with enough money lobby to get the shit pushed through can fucking be involved. You know? Honestly, my heart isn't in fucking being in the cannabis business anymore. I'm fucking jaded. You know? I love my patients. I love the people who I've been able to serve over the last fucking literally 20 years of my life. And will always be eternally grateful for everyone involved in that process, and will continue to do whatever I can for any and all of them. But like, this regulated market shit is just not for me. It's just not. But this one, so I'm going to hop into it for a second here. I might pass through it a little bit. Maryland Senate bill, also a Beard Bro Farms article. Maryland Senate Bill 348 shields medical cannabis users' gun rights. Doesn't say adult use gun rights. The intersection of cannabis use and firearms may seem like an improbable legal battleground, but for many medical marijuana patients, it has become a pressing issue of constitutional rights. It doesn't matter, because as long as you're fucking contracted into a bunch of this shit, your constitutional rights really don't mean shit. Okay? Some of the shit that I've been learning. As long as you're a fucking U.S. citizen, right, You got to look up the definition of a U.S. citizen or U.S. person. It means you're their bitch. Maryland Senate has thrust itself into this conversation by passing Bill 348, aimed at safeguarding the Second Amendment rights of individuals using cannabis legally for medical purposes. If you have to have a license for it, you're basically saying, hey, government, I don't want my God-given fucking rights. You can give me the right. You can permit me to do this. If the government has to say that you need them to be able to do something, that is not your fucking unalienable rights. That is not your God-given, creator-given rights. If God gave you the rights, why do you need the government to do so? It's just my thought. This action doesn't just advance the discourse on individual liberties. It signals a shift in how states may choose to protect their citizens against federal overreach. As more states across the U.S. legalize the use of cannabis, either medically or recreationally, this question of how these changes interact with existing federal statutes become crucial, especially for those who own firearms or wish to do so. Current federal statutes that any user of a controlled substance, including cannabis currently, is barred from owning or possessing a firearm. You can, however, drink 6 Jack and Cokes at the bar, drive home, and fire your gun off in the air. That's okay. This blanket prohibition part of the Gun Control Act of '68 has been a sticking point for medical marijuana patients who argue that their rights are being unfairly restricted. They are. At the heart of the issue is the discrepancy between federal and state cannabis laws, with states choosing to decriminalize and regulate marijuana within their borders, while federal law, as it stands, maintains its Schedule I classification. For Second Amendment advocates, the situation raises fundamental questions about the right to self-defense and due process. Ooh, due process. Interesting. Whereas medical cannabis is recognized and prescribed within state-sanctioned medical programs, these patients are effectively disenfranchised when it comes to their right to bear arms. Are they going to be able to get social equity license? Maryland Senate Bill 348. Recent passage of Bill 348 brought forth by Senator Mike McKay, Republican, represents a significant step forward in securing firearm rights for patients using medical cannabis in the state. The bill, which passed last week with an overwhelming majority vote of 43-2, states that under Maryland law, a person cannot be denied the right to purchase, own, possess, or carry a firearm solely based on their authorized use of medical cannabis. Here's the thing. Don't put it on your gun application. Okay? Just don't. For the countless individuals who have found relief in medical marijuana treatments, the legislation provides a sense of normalcy and complete participation within their rights as Marylanders. It acknowledges the medicinal utility of cannabis in treating a range of health issues and rectifies previous state laws that might have penalized these individuals for seeking alternative medical pathways. However, the path to amending gun ownership rights for medical marijuana patients is not without obstacles. The federal stance on the matter remains unchanged, and when the evolving landscape puts states and individuals in a complex dance with federal law enforcement agencies. Following its success in the Senate, Senate Bill 348 advances to the Maryland House of Delegates, marking the next crucial phase in its legislative journey. If the bill secures approval from the House, it will be ascended to the legislative ladder, aiming for enactment. Should it pass these hurdles, the law slated to go into effect October 1, 2024. The case for equal treatment. Advocates for the integration of medical cannabis and gun rights argue for equity. Let's see, equity in the treatment of cannabis compared to other substances. Alcohol, for example, is legal and regulated intoxicants whose use does not preclude an individual from wielding Second Amendment protections, as I just said. Cannabis is now legally prescribed in many states for a range of ailments, and now even the government recognizes its medicinal value. Where traditional medicines have fallen short, implying that the user's danger potential with a firearm is not necessarily heightened. By recognizing the legitimacy of medical marijuana uses, legislatures are called upon to consider the individual circumstances of cannabis users. One-size-fits-all approach, advocates assert, neither respects nor reflects the complexity of individual cases, further calling into questions the fairness of current firearm restrictions on medical marijuana patients. Maryland's move holds national implications, particularly as the debate on gun control, health care, and states' rights continues to take center stage. It serves as a precedent for other states to take action in protecting the rights of medical marijuana users and may influence the conversation at a federal level. This collective voice of states modifying policies to reflect the will of their citizens would catalyze change in outdated federal statutes, perhaps signaling a need for more nuanced regulations at the national level. Duh. Passage of Senate Bill 348 in Maryland highlights the power of individual states to assert authority over legislation that directly affects their citizens, even when at odds with federal law. This is a moment for medical cannabis users and Second Amendment supporters to advocate for the consistent and equitable laws that respect both state determinations and the constitutional rights they uphold. Overall, while the confluence of gun rights and medical cannabis is fraught with complexities, Maryland's recent legislative action illuminates the possibilities for harmonizing state and federal laws. Conversation must continue with a focus on protecting the rights and the well-being of individuals navigating the nexus of medical treatment, legal cannabis use, and fundamental constitutional protections. It's a clarion call for engagement, education, and advocacy in a realm where personal freedoms are not just negotiated, but constitutionally guaranteed. Motherfucking Constitution. I got that shit right here. I keep it on me. I keep that motherfucking thing on me. Constitution of the American States and other fucking important documents. It's a good one, and you should probably fucking read it. Okay? You should probably fucking read it. Article 1. Oh, where's my fucking shit? Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. No person shall be a senator, vice president. Okay. Congress shall have power to lay and collect taxes, duties, imposts, and excises on the debts and provide for the common defense and general welfare of the United States. Okay. Article 10. Okay, I'm not going to read the Constitution or stuff out of it. We'll be here all day. We'll fucking be here all day. Because I absolutely will. You know? Sorry, I just needed to make this heat actually heat up. Because I'm a little chilly. I'm a little chilly in here. Okay, we got Beard Bros. Now we're going to move. We're going to move to a couple other things. Oh my gosh. I don't even know when this is from. Let's see if there's a date. Oh man. Let's see. 6,500. Okay. Health for life. There's some legal mumbo jumbo in there, so I'm not even going to fucking get into it. What I will do is just go right to our favorite fucking people. The gift that keeps on giving, Curio Wellness. I guess they're called Far and Daughter now. Whoever told them to name themselves that is a fucking moron. Because that is one of the worst names for a weed company that I've ever fucking heard in my life. Okay? I offer consulting. For you guys, $10,000 an hour. I've come up with 10 names that are better than that in 1 fucking hour. $1,000 a name, essentially. Far and Daughter. Like, come on, man. What even is that? Far and Daughter. I got another time I'm going to look up where this fucking name comes from. Far and Daughter. Like, even Curio Wellness was a better name than fucking Far and Daughter. Far, F-A-R, and Daughter, D-O-T-T-E-R. What does daughter even mean? The shit fucking, I don't know. If you know anything, Curio, years ago, I know there's a lot of people here that are new that weren't even smoking weed before this fucking adult use shit, which is fine, totally fine. You know? You fucking were scared because it wasn't legal. There weren't statutes in place that protected you, even though fucking the Constitution, this country, was fucking founded on hemp. George Washington and the boys all had hemp fields at their house. You know why? Do you know why? Go look this shit up, man. Hemp has a rich history in our nation's fucking capital. Hemp and fucking tobacco, baby. Virginia's finest. Maryland dispensary fined. Now, Curio, if you didn't know, when the first diversity and social equity fuck all licenses were coming out a few years ago, they fucking sued the MMCC and said, whoa, we got to put a halt on those licenses because that could be potential market share for our company, Curio Wellness, that is eventually going to be named Far and Daughter. It's going to steal some market share from us. And we don't want those black people to do that. That's where they were at with it. I went to go pull this article up, but it's in the Baltimore Business Journal. And to be honest, I'm not paying them $4 so I can read this article about Curio. In a sense, it almost feels like I would be giving Curio my money. So I just absolutely could not do that. So I just went back over to the blacklist on Instagram, and I'm going to read you his fucking thing. Maryland dispensary fined 26 racks, which is nothing to these fools, for selling dumpster-derived cannabis. I know, you've heard fucking plant-derived terpenes, but have you heard of dumpster-derived cannabis? Let's dive in. Let's fucking toke about it. Although I'm not toking. It's fucking tobacco. I need something to calm my nerves, man, because I'm fucking... Now they got stoners dumpster diving. A Maryland cannabis dispensary was fined 26 racks by state regulators for selling cannabis retrieved from a dumpster to customers. Yo! Now, is this like shit that was expired and they just threw it in the dumpster? And they're fucking employee, like, okay, we're just gonna dive in. The Maryland Cannabis Administration cited the video evidence showing Curio's Far and Daughter dispensary. Curio's horribly named Far and Daughter dispensary staff antimonium salvaging and selling 224 grams of cannabis. Yo, fucking half peasy. Got a half a plate, quarter brick. Woo! Yo, somebody that works on the team, somebody that is a diversity and social equity hire fucking went and stole the shit right out of the dumpster and flipped that bitch. Good for fucking you, dude. Good for fucking you. And I hope you put all that bread in your pocket. Although, it does kind of seem dumb because there's a lot of fucking cameras, apparently. Following a consent order on February 22nd, Curio Wellness must now report its waste disposal and cleaning practices monthly for 6 months to retain staff and retrain staff on proper disposal methods. The fine benefits a fund aiding medical cannabis access for low-income individuals and veterans. Is that actually a thing, though? Can anybody give me any information on the fund that helps low-income cannabis fucking users and veterans? Because I know that's been around. There's been a fund that was supposed to be used for that, and they had it set up, but they never actually did it. So in my mind, where my head is at, is that they got fined $26,000. It's going in this fund, and somebody is just going to fucking be able to use that for their own personal shit. Curio, acknowledging the penalty, defended the safety of the product, citing its sealed packaging. Yo. They said, yeah. Yo, and you know whoever was fucking disposing of that shit knew exactly what they were doing, man. This enforcement is part of increased regulatory actions by the MCA, reflecting heightened scrutiny as recreational cannabis use becomes regulated. It says legal, but we know I don't like that term, because it's not legal. It's not legal until every motherfucker is freed from the fucking bullshit prison system that we have. It's not. It's not fucking free. Go back and listen to my episode with fucking the folks that were freed by the Last Prisoner Project. Shit is powerful. Previously, Curio faced a $7,000 fine for unrelated regulatory violations. The incident came to light after a whistleblower reported the sale. Someone snitched. Whistleblower reported the sale of cannabis, which had been in a dumpster for over 41 hours, to the MCA. Despite claims of safety and proper intentions by Curio, the decision to sell the retrieved cannabis has sparked criticism regarding health risks and regulatory compliance. Yo. And then I see I'm looking at the comments. Let's just see some of those. My man, MD Dabber 420. I'm about to open a different can of worms in the state. Look up remediation of cannabis flower. 100. Yo, mold remediation in cannabis is not new. They've been doing it a long time. He's on a fight right now. He's saying he got some fucking mold damage in his lungs. Some fungal infection or some shit from the fucking Maryland weed. You know, if you're into people that use organic, dirt and shit, go check him out. He's a fucking organic dirt guy. Then some guy replied to his comment, makes sense. Order greens from us for a starter. Yo, then he replied, we good on the block work, fam. Organic small batch only. Love it. Here we go. Somebody fucking replied right after and said, MD Dabber, this ain't new. Remediation regs been in the state for 2 to 3 years now. Not new. He said, they've been in place since the medical market began. Nobody's come forth from it causing sickness yet is what's new. Check my page, 100. The remediation regulations shouldn't be allowed to exist. Product produced correctly doesn't require any tampering. I get what he's saying. But I mean, they gotta make their money, man. They're on a schedule, dude. 9 weeks, them joints gotta fucking be flipped and out of there. So definitely, these fools spending $400K on remediation machines cause 80% of their flour can't pass testing, so they process, which is still wild. Big facts, 100. Whistleblower. Pay them budtenders more. I mean, I don't know what the current pay rate is based on inflation. Let's see. Somebody said the original late 90s dumpster cut from Ohio was fire, though. Guy said, I found it in 2010 era, definitely a solid specimen. Not many people remember or know about it, so I'm glad to see someone bring it up. Yo! Somebody said, I quit going to the dispensary I frequented in Detroit when they told me the edibles were all made from reclaim from the communal employee rig in the back. Yeah, Michigan wild. Our dumpster trees are safe and clean. Yo, somebody replied, Lisa Marie, I'm fucking dying, bro. I need to go to her page. She said, so many people and places dispose of trim and buds. I'm a member of multiple dumpster diving groups because, I mean, I used to be a junkie and I would dumpster dive for food because it was necessary because I spent my money on dope, whatever little money I was begging and scrounging around for. And it's like the most shameful time of my life. And there are people who love it. OG Dumpster Kush. Yo, Americans have been living off dumpster dived mids for centuries. Why make a big deal about it now? Yo, best fucking rename for Curio, not Colta, excuse me, sorry. Somebody commented only Steel Ox or Steel Fox. Fart and Pooter. Far and Daughter should definitely be named Fart and Pooter. Somebody said Maryland's legal weed in a nutshell. Owned by Curio, not surprised. Somebody said, what are you trying to say? Because it's black owned. It seemed a little crazy right now, but understood. What? Black owned? Did they sell? Because to my knowledge, Curio Wellness is owned by fucking Michael Bronfien, who's also the owner of the local Baltimore Fox 45 affiliate, who ran multiple specials on his own fucking company. Yeah, somebody fucking replied right away, Curio isn't black owned. They're owned by the Bond Fiends. There we go. All right, real Nick Patrick, thanks for fucking showing up. Curio isn't black owned. Guy said, I'm gonna stop it. Let's be serious. Curio isn't black owned. You know, hilarious, dude. Yo, people are fucking insane, dude. Curio, black owned. Far and Daughter must have some fucking. Yo, are they like really marketing themselves as a black owned company now? Are they that desperate for market share to push their fucking bullshit purple punch? To tell people that they are black owned? This is insane. Oh my god. Is there anything else hilarious in this? Dumpster funk. Somebody said that shit is trash. It is though. Another guy said, just get a trash compactor. They can't dig in there. Quit being cheap with your dumpsters. Yo, $5 an ounce from the dumpster. I'll take it. Somebody said, but it grows out of dirt. Oh my god, dude. Like, what a fucking... View hidden comments. Oh, there's hidden comments. And these comments apparently were hidden because they may be misleading, offensive, or spam. That's where all their inventories should go. Not worth 50 1/8. Go fuck yourself, Maryland. Who is that? They have one post, and it's a rat. Weird. Maybe they are spam. So, yeah, this is the kind of shit going on in Maryland. And that's why I'm not smoking it. I've smoked one bag of Maryland weed, and that was for my homies at District Cannabis, and that's got been in their grow. Shout out to District Cannabis. They hooked me up with a couple different people from, I interviewed their old owner, Ed Wiedenfeld, rest in peace. That's a great episode. Go back and check it out. Maybe it's episode 13. I'm not sure. That dude used to work in the Reagan administration. There's fucking, their DC weed was pretty good, if I remember correctly. The layer cake and the fucking original gelato cake that was mad purple. So fucking Maryland, dude. I don't have the article pulled up that I wanted to about the hemp documentary, but I actually reached out to the guys that did it, and I'm hoping they'll do an episode of the show, because they are really fighting for our can of freedoms and our ability to grow, cultivate, and fucking sell hemp products outside of the MCA, because fuck them people. So instead, I'm gonna give you a fun article from the Daily Mail, and then we're gonna shut it down. We're gonna call it a wrap after that. Doctors warn mosquito-borne virus, because we've talked about the mosquitoes and Bill Gates and all the shit they're trying to do with these fucking mosquitoes, and fucking I've been seeing hella ads on Facebook for being in a mosquito vaccine study. It's kind of crazy. This one, I just saw the headline and I had to talk about it, man. Doctors warn mosquito-borne virus that triggered health alert in Florida and Brazil. Florida, where they were dumping all them Bill Gates mosquitoes from, just saying. That triggered an alert in Florida and Brazil, can cause bizarre symptoms. And just so you know, if you haven't fucking looked, they were talking, when they ran that last pandemic simulation, they were talking about the next pandemic's going to be coming out of fucking Brazil, based on the simulation, which is a replica of the Event 201 simulation they did literally 2 months before the COVID-19 pandemic. Scamdemic. That fucking absolutely throttled our economy and put the greatest transfer of wealth in human history into the top fucking 1% of companies, which are owned by like 6 people. Just saying. So be on the lookout. Don't get bit by a mosquito, even though it just fucking happens. An alert in Florida and Brazil can cause bizarre symptoms. Spontaneous erections that can last 18 hours. Now we're talking, baby. 18 hours? Yo, imagine if you were fucking for 18 hours. Can you come with a fucking virus, dick erection? Or do you have to fuck for 18 hours to be able to come? Who knows? If you do come, does your dick just stay fucking bricked up? Good question. Scientists in West Africa say the dengue fever can cause bizarre symptoms. Dengue fever cases are surging in the U.S. thanks to warmer temperatures. Read more. Brazil declares a state of emergency over surging dengue infections. You know, I was thinking about going to Brazil this summer, but maybe not. A mosquito-borne virus that prompted Brazil to declare a state of emergency may cause an unusual and embarrassing new symptom, scientists say. Embarrassing? Yo, if I'm bricked up for 18 hours, ain't nothing embarrassing about that. I'm gonna be walking around town with that joint poking in my gray sweatpants. Come on, baby. Let's fucking go. Dengue fever, which is typically associated with fevers, rashes, and internal bleeding. I don't even care if I'm internal bleeding for an 18-hour fucking brick up. That's what they need to do. Fuck Viagra. Just fucking synthesize some of this dengue to where we can fucking be bricked up for 18 hours straight. Doctors in Burkina Faso, West Africa, floated the theory after treating a 17-year-old boy who was in the emergency department with a severe dengue infection. The youngster had an acute ischemia where blood flow to part of the body is interrupted and kidney problems due to his infection. Doctor also noted he was suffering from a soft, persistent erection. What is a soft, persistent erection that lasted 18 hours and occurred without any sexual stimulation? They gotta fucking go up, the propaganda pic. I'm gonna go ahead and turn that around. This guy up on the top here, that looks familiar. That looks like it's straight out of China, but they put it against the green and yellow background, so you know it's Brazil and not China. I still am confused. What is a soft, persistent erection? Are you not bricked? Are you bricked or no? What is it? Because if I'm not going to be bricked up for 18 hours to bang fucking Brazilian hookers at the fucking favela, then what the fuck? Rio de Janeiro declared a state of emergency amid surging dengue cases as millions of tourists prepared to arrive in Brazil for the city's famous carnival. Health worker fumigates against mosquitoes in Brazil. Patient is transferred to the hospital after receiving medical care at an improvised military aid station. Territories and freely associated states, just so you know. Oh, of course, right next to the state of Maryland in the District of Columbia, there has definitely been some dengue cases between 2010 and 23. They believe this may have been caused by the virus infecting blood vessels in the penis and causing plasma to leak fluid into the shaft. Ugh. Brother, ugh. Making the penis appear larger and firmer than its flaccid state. Okay, so that's... Alright, so the fucking article was clickbait is what you're telling me, because you're not getting bricked up. You got fucking plasma in your dick that's fucking making it seem a little more inflated. Writing in the journal, Urology Case, it reports... Doctors said dengue by causing vascular leaks could be a rare trigger for arterial priapism, aka spontaneous erections. U.S.-based scientists told Daily Mail that it was certainly possible, in quotes, dengue could cause spontaneous erections, pointing out that COVID, mumps, And even rabies have been linked to the symptom previously. Bitch, shut the fuck up. Ain't nobody heard of a fucking COVID case giving them spontaneous erections. Of course, they put that as the first one in capital. They always capitalize COVID, too. I wonder if that's like a trademark thing. But they said it's probably an extremely rare complication. It comes as Florida has reported 2 cases of dengue fever caught locally so far this year. It has reported 5 cases in residents who had recently traveled outside the state. Last year, doctors issued an alert after a rise in the infection. There's also a major outbreak in Brazil with 340,000 cases reported, 4 times more than the same time last year. The country is erecting emergency clinics to deal with the surge of patients and says 40 deaths from dengue have been confirmed so far. Okay, so this is something else. They just said there were 340,000 cases. There were 40 deaths. What is that percentage? Do we have a calculator on hand? I don't know. I'll just... For ha-has. Oh. Sorry, I'm tired, man. Calc. So we have... Let's just do some basic math here. We'll keep it real fucking simple for you. 340,000 cases divided by 40. 340,000 divided by 40. You have a 1 in 8,500 chance. Okay? That feels like it's pretty good to me. For the case in Burkina Faso, doctors treated the boy's erections using an ice pack, which caused blood vessels to constrict, which reduced the amount of fluid in the penis. The patient also had no medical history or underlying conditions, such as sickle cell, which has previously been linked to spontaneous erections. They're just putting everything in the category of spontaneous erections. You got COVID, mumps, sickle cell, all this shit, man. He was treated using antivirals. The antiviral, I'm sure, was ivermectin. I'm sure. 100% positive. I don't even need to look it up. I'm positive. Trust the science and trust me. And a 3-month to 6-month follow-up, was healthy and back to normal. Doctor said he had no complaints and was able to achieve a normal erection without pain or issues. Outbreaks of dengue were previously rare in the U.S., but warming temperatures are making the viral infection more common as mosquitoes advance further north. Right. So the warm weather, it's what's making them more common, not fucking Bill Gates. Okay? About 1,000 Americans are infected with dengue fever every year, a 10-fold increase since 2019 when barely 100 infections a year were recorded. Number of dengue cases per year are currently at their highest level since 2013 after a major outbreak in southern Texas. Wow. Erections are normally triggered by blood vessels in the penis dilating, causing fluids to flow to the erectile tissue called the corpus cavernum. Richard Murphy, doctor who advised Doctors Without Borders in Africa for 7 years, said it was possible dengue could cause spontaneous erections or priapism. Viruses have been linked with priapism in the past, including COVID, mumps, and even rabies, he told this website. Okay. So it's possible that other viruses are associated with it. He suggested if this symptom was proven, it was likely extremely rare because so many infections with dengue have been recorded. Is spread via the bites of mosquitoes, which inject the virus into humans when they suck on someone's blood. Most patients have no symptoms, but